A lot of people in history have done things that make them great. But what does it take to earn this title? In the ancient world, a general and king of the Greeks named Alexander emerged as the greatest conqueror the world had ever seen. Alexander the Great was the son of Philip II of Macedonia. Macedonia was a kingdom just north of the Greek city-states. After Philip conquered and unified the Greek city-states in 338 BC, they also adopted many aspects of Greek culture. In fact, Philip chose the most famous Greek teacher and philosopher, Aristotle, to teach Alexander. From Aristotle, Alexander learned to appreciate Greek culture, politics, morals, and other topics that helped make him a great leader. King Philip wanted to conquer Persia, but before he could begin his quest, he was murdered. This meant that Alexander would now be in power. Many thought Alexander would be a weak ruler. He was only 20 years old after all. But Alexander proved everyone wrong. Alexander stopped rebellions in Greece, even enslaving some of the rebels. He also decided to fulfill his father's goal of conquering Persia. But Alexander was not only seeking revenge for Persia's invasions of Greece, he also wanted to achieve personal glory. Alexander ordered his armies to march on the Persian Empire. His favorite military formation was the phalanx, or a large group of soldiers in close formation. Soldiers used shields to protect the formation and spears to attack. Alexander improved on this by arming his soldiers with longer, more effective spears. Alexander and his armies won some key battles against the Persians in Asia Minor, or what is Turkey today. From there, he marched on Egypt, where he already had a reputation. The Persian governor surrendered without a fight and named him Pharaoh. Alexander won battle after battle. He defeated the Persian army one last time near the town of Gaugamela. He never lost a single battle in his life. Alexander's armies marched through some of the greatest cities of the ancient world. His desire for glory took his troops across the Indus River in northern India, but his soldiers were tired and didn't want to go any further. Alexander reluctantly marched his armies back toward Greece, but got sick in Babylon and died in 323 BC. He was only 32 years old. The cause of Alexander's death is still a mystery, but some people believe he was poisoned by a rival general. Alexander's biggest legacy is Hellenization, which is the spread of Greek culture. He liked Greek culture so much that he had theaters, temples, and other buildings constructed all over the areas he conquered. Greek became one of the main languages spoken throughout his empire. But Alexander also respected other cultures and allowed his conquered people to keep many of their customs. This mixing of Greek and local cultures produced Hellenistic culture, or a Greek-like way of life. By now, Alexander was well on his way to achieving the personal glory he was looking for. He even named over 70 cities after himself. Though there were many cities named Alexandria at this time, the one in Egypt became the most famous. There, a huge library known as the Library of Alexandria was built. It housed thousands of books, mostly in Greek. The library became one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, but unfortunately burned down in a large fire. After his death, Alexander's empire was split into several kingdoms between his generals. But because the kings ruled with total power, many of these regions experienced rebellions and became weak. Most of these kingdoms were conquered by mighty Roman armies within a few centuries. Alexander the Great left a mark on history. Today you can still see Greek ruins in parts of the Middle East and Persia. Greek science, math, and other learning traditions also spread to the areas he conquered. It's safe to say that he's one person in history that earned the title of being great.